second. My Facebook is not cooperating on my computer. Let's try again. There we go. I think this is it. Yes, now I can see your comments. Welcome, happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me in my Stampin' Piece studio. What a busy day. How's it been for you? Andrea was here working, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. And we had lunch. I took a quick rest, mowed the lawn, edged out there, talked to the neighbors a bit, came back in and worked, and I've been down here ever since. So, but a really good day. It was just too nice not to get outside today here in Ohio. This time next week, I will be on a plane with my daughter Emily to London. So it's getting very real. As many of you know, I earned the Norway cruise incentive trip for this year, and it leaves from Southampton, England. So Emily and I decided we would fly to London a few days early so that we can see that. London's always been on my bucket list. So I'm super excited. Will I come home with a fastener? I don't know. I'll probably never wear it, but I feel like if I go there, I should get one. So we shall see. Anyways, I've got a great couple of cards to show you today. Quick refresher, if you are not with me on Monday, we started with simple stamping using the Earthen Textures Stamp Set. And then we took that a little bit further, still did simple stamping, just stamps, ink, and paper, but we added a couple of layers. And then finally, we added some more elements so that we could step up that second card. So we did some stamping on DSP and cardstock, or just cardstock, I should say. No, we did DSP right here. The sentiment is stamped on DSP. This is stamped on DSP, and then this is stamped on cardstock, I believe. And a little stamping, we added that wavy trim, so pretty. So it was a good lesson on just going back to the basics of stamp, ink, and paper. And then from there, stepping up your card and building it to whatever level you want, and with however many elements you want to add. So if you're ever in a pinch, you're looking at a stamp set or designer series paper or something, and you just don't know what to do with that suite, start with some simple stamping and then kind of repeat that process, but add maybe some layers or another element, and each time build on that previous card. So it's a fun way to go back to the beginning, stamps, ink, and paper, like we all started from. So that was a good lesson for beginners. And then as well as people who are more avid and have more stuff in their craft room that they want to use. How do you go from simple to stepped up? So please take a look at that. The video is here on Stampin' Piece with Mary Nave on Facebook, or it will be on my blog either late tonight or tomorrow. But anyways, today we're going to be working with the Earthen Textures bundle again, but this time, instead of focusing on the stamps, the focus is really going to be on the dies and the coordinating DSP in that suite. And we're just going to talk about mixing and matching DSP and textures and colors to come up with one-of-a-kind cards in a very easy and quick way as well. I'm going to switch, not swip, I don't even know, is swip a word? Oh well. I'm going to switch my camera around to my workspace so we can get started on today's cards. While I'm doing that, please share this live video inviting others to join us, putting the word out that I'm live, and we are going to make some awesome cards tonight. Also today, while Andrea was here working for me, we put together over 60 cards, 5 different designs for people in my In Color Club. So that was kind of fun, and she's getting into the creative process and the assembly of cards a little bit more as she works with me. So as I wanted to show you the DSP first, and where did it go? So this one side, you know, the name of the suite is Earthen Elegance. The name of the bundle is Earthen Textures. So I think of this as stoneware, earthenware. People have carved designs into the pottery or the clay, things like that. So that's what I see when I look at these things, these patterns. And then when I flip it over, you get more of a softer look. You still get some patterns and prints, but more of a softer look on all those colors. So today we are just going to do lots of mixing and matching. This is the first card we're going to make. You see there is a lot going on here. But what's great about this card is you can just make or die cut a bunch of pieces and then just mix them and match them and put them together on your cards. So let me show you how I did it. Now I'm going to warn you, usually I work from beginning to end on all of the cards I make for you. However, there is a lot going on these cards. So I took the liberty of doing all of the die cutting, and the only thing I stamped is the sentiment for each card. So like I said, we're focused heavily on the dies and the DSP tonight. And can somebody please tell me, are we still okay? Can you see me? Because my screen went black and it's given me that little blue scrolling circle. I just want to make sure we're not frozen on your end. So if somebody can tell me if we're good or if we're frozen, that would be helpful. You're okay. All right. Thank you. I have no idea why Facebook is doing that. It's very, very frustrating. It's been doing that for probably for about a week now. Okay, so I'm using Pretty Peacock as my card base, and I've scored and cut in the opposite direction. So I've got 4 1/4 by 11 inches and scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to go ahead and put my basic white cardstock on the inside. This might be a good place if you don't want a plain inside. You could, stamp a little something in there if you like, or add just a simple die cut piece as well. Now for my background, I've cut 2 different pieces of designer series paper that I think look really, really good together. This one measures 5 1/2 by 3 inches, and this one measures 5 1/2 by 1 inch. And I'm going to adhere these with this multi-purpose glue so that I can move the pieces around if I need to, so that I can give them the spacing and the borders that I want. So instead of just doing one DSP for the background, I'm combining. Got some mixing and matching going. And I think I said in Monday's Facebook Live that I really looked at this Earthen Elegance suite as a challenge for me. Kind of not my go-to theme or necessarily the colors or patterns, but I thought I'm going to give it a go. And the more I work with it, I'm actually really, really loving it. So I hope you love what you see here today too. So now I've cut some foliage from different colors. I've got pecan pie, copper clay, and pretty peacock. And then I've cut out some different pots from the DSP. And then there's this tiny little, let me show you the die. This tiny little die that could be like a topper for one of your stoneware pots. And I'm going to put it on this one. And again, all of these stoneware pots or clay pots, whatever you want to call them, the earthenware, have been die cut from DSP. And I'm using only die cuts that are in the Earthen Textures die collection. So now I want to start putting my card together. A couple things I'm going to do. I'm going to lay this one down first. But before I adhere it, I want to make sure that my stem from this large, I don't even know what kind of leaf to call it. Do you? Does anybody know? One thing I want to show you about this leaf, you can do a couple of things here. There are these score lines all the way through that are made at the same time you die cut that leaf, okay? So you can just, I kind of just put my fingernail in that score line and just kind of squeeze the sides from the back. You can leave this perfectly flat. If you don't want to do this step, that's perfectly fine. This just lifts it off of your card base or whatever it is you're making, gives it a little more dimension. And of course, how hard you crease will make a difference as well. Now, the other thing about this die is it may be hard for you to see, but between all these little leaves, they're just connected very slightly. The tiniest little bit of cardstock holding them together. So if you want, you can clip them apart just like this. Again, you don't have to, but I'm showing you some different ways that you can use this leaf. And then you can pull some forward, that sort of thing. So again, because this is kind of a focal point, and because I don't want to get it off my card front, I'm going to set this in place first and then place my tall vase over it. In this tall vase, I'm just going to adhere flat to the card front. Now I'm going to add my other two. And again, you just want to play. Whatever patterns you decide to die cut, mix them, match them, move them around, okay? I think I'm going to do something like this. And I like to have them all at different heights, like rather than these two being the same height, I like to move them so they're at different heights. And I'm going to adhere these two with mini dimensionals. And I'm putting them on the outside edges. So that way, when I want to tuck in some of those foliage pieces, I can do that. And they're not getting stuck because I adhered across that top. Are you still with me? Okay, it looks like people are still with me. I still got that crazy black screen, but I can see the comments. Doesn't make any sense, does it? So I'll attach that one. And then so for Christmas, Emily had expressed some interest in taking pottery classes, and she lives in Cincinnati, as many of you know. But so for Christmas, one of the gifts I gave her was a gift certificate to a pottery place. I believe it's called Core Clay, C-O-R-E, Core Clay. And so she's been taking her classes, and she's really liking it. She's really liking it. And she always was very good at not just crafts, but art as well. So I know she works really hard in her PT job. So I think this is a nice break for her, stress reliever, and she's found something she enjoys. So she sent me a couple pictures, but I'm excited to see like the finished pieces. But she said she's learning a lot. All right, so it looks pretty good, right? Now down here is a little empty. I need to do something with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have this 1/2-inch strip of copper clay cardstock. That's one of our new core colors. And actually it's an in color. Right? Yes, it's an in color. We've got so many new colors, 5 new in colors, and then 11 colors added to our core collection. I'm having a hard time keeping it all straight. So I've just torn the ends of this strip of cardstock. Again, it's 1/2-inch wide. And I tore it just because that seems to kind of fit this stoneware, earthenware look. And I'm going to do the same thing with the sentiment. This sentiment, again, is from the Earthen Textures Stamp Set. Everything on these cards so far is from the Earthen Elegance suite. And same thing, I'm just going to tear that, but this I'm going to pop up on some dimensionals. Christine, you are watching all the way from Victoria, Australia. Welcome. What time is it there? I bet it's tomorrow. I bet it's Thursday over there instead of Wednesday evening. I'm going to scoot this over a little more to the left also, just for a different look. Okay, a lot happening here, right? But super, super easy. All I did was die cut pieces. I cut a bunch of them to start with, and then I just started mixing and matching until I came up with a design that I really like. So now we are going to add just a little bit of bling. The other day I did show you that the wavy trim is the embellishment that is part of the Earthen Elegance suite. I'm not using that today, but I am using it on Friday, so you don't want to miss Friday. But I also pulled out some other elements on Monday that I said work really good with this suite. These are the In Color jute, spools of jute, and then the In Color glossy dots. Then I was going through my embellishments again, and I thought, well, there's some in here. I might even try the blue, not necessarily on this card, but I think it could work on with some of the other DSPs. But these are the adhesive back solid gems. And this card is this color is definitely that copper clay. So that would go. But I decided tonight I'm using the gold sequins from the pastel adhesive back sequins. Now, you know I don't really like sequins because they have holes in. But bam! What did Stampin' Up do over the last year or so? They gave us sequins that don't have holes in, and I am all about these. And in our new catalog, there are several. I don't have a catalog close to me. It's over there on my desk. But in the new annual catalog, you will see several sets of the adhesive-backed sequins. One of them has different metallics that I think would work well with this. My order for that hasn't come in, but I am using the gold, and I think it works really, really nicely. But when you look at your catalog and you see some of the others, you'll know exactly which ones I'm talking about. They're just like various metallics in the whole set. And there's my card. And I love this. Isn't this wonderful? A great way to say thank you. You always know just what to say and do. You know, for that friend or that person that provides you with the best pick-me-up just when you need it. All right, this will be one of the cards I give away today. But we're going to make a second card, and I'll give that one away also. Now, for this card, it is different, but it has a lot of similarities, and it was basically made with the same process. Just me die cutting and mixing and matching pieces until I came up with an arrangement I liked. You might think that this mixing and matching would take so much time, but really, because all of the colors in the DSP coordinate so well, it really is quite easy. So this piece measures 5.5 by 4 inches. I just wanted that border on the left and right sides and not at the bottom. A little variation on what I usually do for the backgrounds. My background pieces typically are 5.25 by 4 inches. But I changed it up, 5.5 by 4 inches for these cards. I thought this blue was a nice contrast to this background but yet it complements the different stoneware pots that I die cut. But again, to give it that weathered look, I'm tearing the edges. Trying to go at a little bit of a diagonal if I can, but however it turns out is fine. And then once again, I'm just going to start building my arrangement. Oh, I've got my little handles. So let me put this, I want to put it on this one. Does everybody have the silicone mat? Do you know why I'm using that? When we're working with adhesives and we're thinking there's a good chance that we could get adhesive where we don't need it, it's messy or the pieces are small. Any adhesive that ends up on your silicone mat will just rub off. So anything like this, you know, if you're, oops, that's not even sticking to it. But actually, why don't I just show you? I'm going to put a bunch here. And we're going to let that dry a little bit while we're making this second card. And remind me, don't let me forget, because I'm going to show you how to clean that up and why having a silicone mat is so wonderful. So I've got this Moody Mauve. I don't know if I like that name. I'm okay with the mauve, but Moody, I don't know if I like that. But anyways, it is what it is. And this, I do want flat, but I'm just putting some adhesive on the bottom and sides so that if I want to tuck some foliage in there, it'll be easy for me to do. And this one, yes, I do want to pop up on dimensionals. And again, I'm suggesting that you use mini dimensionals around the outside edges of your pots so that if you want to tuck something in at the top, you can do that. And again, I like to not have them all at the same level. It just adds a little more realistic, adds more dimension, that sort of thing. Kathy Kelly says she loves her silicone mat. So does Fran. Yes, I'm so glad. Lori Turner, you're just like me when it comes to the sequins, right? I think if sequins have holes in, they should be sewn onto something. And I don't know if that's just the sewer in me or if I maybe grew up thinking that's what was the only thing you ever did with sequins. I don't know. But I love our sequins without the holes. I do this. Actually, a little lower with that one. I'm going to put another one in. Come on. Oh, I should have one more piece, but I don't see that die cut piece. So we will just take care of that very quickly. But this is good in a way because I can show you how well these detail dies cut. And I just need a little piece of Pretty Peacock for this. And before anybody asks, I'm sorry, this little mini paper trimmer is not available. It's not something for sale. I wish it was. Maybe in the future we'll get that. I don't know. But a few years ago, it was part of a joining promotion. And usually when they have something like an exclusive product like that, they let current demonstrators buy one. So that's how I have it. And it is handy. I do like it. So it would be wonderful if, also great for photos, but it would be wonderful if we could sell them. So you never know. So look at how nicely that cut. It came right out of the die so easily. And you know that's always good when that kind of thing happens. So I'm just putting a tiny bit of glue down the center stem. You don't need much. And I'm just going to slide that stem right into my pot. And I think it went just like that, maybe a little lower. And then let's put our sentiment on. Again, I'm just going to tear the edges. All I did was stamp the sentiment in Pretty Peacock ink on a 1/2-inch strip of basic white. Now I want to tear this just a little more. It looks a little too straight to me. There. And look at how I'm going to adhere this. You could do dimensionals on each end, but here's another way of adhering. You can just put it right over that. And we'll give that a moment to dry. And while that's drying, let's add some of those sequins. Here they are. The first card, we put our sequins at the bottom. I'm going to kind of fill in this empty space up here a little bit with 1 large and 2 small gold sequins. Don't forget to look at those other sequin. Oh, here's my, did anybody see that? I was like, I know I cut it out. It was hiding right there. Oh, well, I'll use that for another card. All right, so what do you think? Terry says, oh, she loves both of these. Yes, very detailed fern-like leaves. Just really, really super pretty. Now, some of the dies, we're going to be using a couple of these on Friday. But these 3 dies right here, these are meant to cut out these stamped images. So there's another possibility for you if you want to add a little more stamping to these cards. You could do that as an alternative to just die cutting plain cardstock. But either way, I think they're wonderful. So you can see, just throwing out a bunch of these, you could decide to make, I don't know, say you want to make 4 of these cards. You're just going to die cut 4 of each of the different pots, all different DSPs, mix them, match them, move them around until you get what appeals to you. And don't ask yourself, does this look good? If it looks good to you, it is good, right? That's what being creative is all about. Okay. Are there any questions tonight about the cards, about the products that I used? Oh, it looks like everybody's enjoying these. I'm going to quickly scroll back. Oh, Fran, you got the metallic sequins today. Oh, I can't wait to see how you use them. Oh, Tony, you did see that die cut. Okay, gotcha. You are very observant. Okay, want to see if I missed any questions. Bear with me as I scroll. Lots and lots and lots of comments today. Hi, Gail from Centerville. I know right where that is. Okay, looks good. Didn't miss any questions. Kathy, Kelly, you are absolutely right. So many different combinations. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this suite so fabulous. So if you would like to have your name put into the drawing to receive one of these cards, please type in the comments now, Earthen Textures. You know what? Let's do Earthen Elegance. That's the name of the suite and the name of this beautiful DSP that I wasn't so sure I was going to love. So now I'm calling it beautiful. But sometimes that's all it takes, just sitting down and playing with it and kind of let your mind and your imagination and your creativity just kind of wander. But yes, please type in the comments now, Earthen Elegance. Awesome. Okay. I will be back with another Facebook Live on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Please don't miss it. I think you're really going to like the cards. And there's a very simple, easy, quick technique that I'm going to teach you that I think you will enjoy using as you move forward creating more cards. Have a great evening, and I can't wait to see you on Friday. Bye-bye.